Good morning. I'm up here bright and early this morning, just after 8 o'clock, well, about 1:15, and I'm hoping the weather will hold. I've got to get these onions in. I could have got them in yesterday, it was a beautiful day, but they didn't arrive till 5:30, so my plans were scuppered. I think the weather's going to be alright. It seems to be improving actually. There's a few spots of rain first thing, but it took ages to get light this morning. It's 7:45 and it was still quite dark. Anyway, I'll show you what I've got. I was worried I wasn't going to be able to get a hold of any onion sets. I'd heard they were in short supply and I whizzed down to Wilko's, which is where I've gotten them the last 2 years. Now, I didn't want to get red onions this year because I've had them the last 2 years, and both years they've bolted this is Wilko's red onions. Anyway, when I got to Wilko's, all I had red onions and shallots, so I thought, well, I better get some, because who knows, I might not be able to get any. So I've got red onions there. They also had some shallots, which I haven't grown before. Golden gourmet, these are called. How do these work, anybody? I mean, they look nearly shallot sized already. Are they like garlic? Do they split into lots of little ones? I don't know. Seems a bit funny just putting them in, because you know they're virtually at shallot size to start with. Anyway, that was them. I also got my garlic from Wilkinson's. Casablanca, that is. I'll try and get that in today. I'm not sure if I will. Anyway, eventually the order, I went onto Marshall's website to see if I could find some onions on there. They had sold out, which I spun into a panic. After that, a wild panic. And I found some on, is it Thompson and Morgan, the site's called? So I found that they had onions. So I got these Shakespeare onions. I think I've ordered too many, what a surprise. You'll all know what that's like when you get over enthusiastic. This is just half of them. I don't know when they'll send the other half, mind, and I'm not sure why. There must be some kind of shortage going on. So this is, well, 250 grams it says. But there's quite a lot there, and I really don't think I need the other packet, but never mind, we'll find a space somewhere. So the plan is today, I've got a border to clear, and then to feed the border with all the compost and what have you, and see what I'm going to put in there. I've got a patch at home where I had my main crop potatoes. I'm going to put some onions there as well, so I'm just going to see how I get on. I'll go down now and we'll have a look at this border and see how much work there's got to be done there. Alright, this border is the first one on my plot. I call it border one. And this is it here. Now, as you see, it's crammed full, which is a bit sad. I don't like pulling things out really. However, it's got to be, because I've got to get my onions in. I've got all kinds in. Let's see if I can point. This bunch here, these are green beans. They haven't produced. I've had half a dozen beans off them. So they're all coming out. Then next to them, that was some fennel I sowed. It didn't come up. Well, I mean, it's up, but it's not going to come to anything now. Then there's a row of spinach and chard, and actually I think I'm going to leave them in and just plant around them, because last year my chard, it lasted right through the winter and I've used it all. It's still there now, so I'm going to leave that in and see what happens to it. And the spinach, I'm just going to keep that in until it dies back and then pull that out. In front of that, this is beetroot. I'll just take them out. I don't think I've got much of that, but I'll take what I can. And then right at the very front, well, there's this watercress that were planted. It grows fabulously. It's so vigorous, but unfortunately we don't like it. It really doesn't taste very nice. It's got a weird kind of taste. So I'm just going to take that out, and the hens might enjoy it. And there's a few straggly little carrots in that border too. So I'm just going to clear the lot, get the border composted, and see if we can get these onions in. I put them in to support these beans, but now I'm learning all the time. These beans I put in July. This is only my second year doing the allotment, and so I'm not exactly sure what will grow and what won't, and when it will grow and when it won't grow. So on the packet it said last sown date July, so I sowed them at the beginning of July and I planted them out the back end of July. It's just too late for this area. We're in the north and we didn't get anything off. I got, as I say, I got a handful of beans, no more. So, and I also noticed when it says, say if it says sown March till July, March is too soon and obviously July is too late. So I think what I might try and do next year is cut a month off either end of whatever it says on the seed packet. So if it says March to July, I'll do April to June. I think I'll see how I go with that. But a bit of a waste of time planting these, to be honest. I've decided to take the spinach out. It was past its best. Oh, these beetroots aren't bad actually. Where's my glove? It's a net. Oh, get the other one. Got quite a lot of nettles in this border. I'm not sure why. Oh, I'll show you this. This border originally was a high border, like one of the other ones we've got in here, and we did it on the hugel culture method, not the Google culture as I said on the last video, whenever it was. And it's much lower now, and we're finding all the bits of rotten wood that were put at the bottom as I'm digging here. Great logs and stuff. I think I'll just take them out actually. But it's quite interesting to see how they've rotted down, because they would have been big branches originally. That's only in maybe 2 years. This little table here, I'm delighted with it. My dad made it. I gave my mum and dad some strawberries at the beginning of the summer for their back garden, and the birds were getting at them, so my dad made this to cover his strawberries, and he's just tossed it into the allotment. They just live over the field, so he's just able to toss it in our allotment to use. I'm going to use it today anyway as a little washing station for these, because it's like a mesh and the mud will just go through. Pretty happy with it. My dad's just such a clever chap. He was an engineer before he retired, chartered engineer. He's been retired for many years now, but he took up woodwork and he makes half the furniture in my house is what my dad's made. I've got a beautiful French dresser, lovely benches, cupboards, all sorts. He's so gifted. And he works at a boatyard now, voluntary, and they're making these huge wooden wheels to support this gigantic cart which pulls along this old-fashioned lifeboat from the 1800s, I think, which they're all restoring. My dad has had to figure out how to build a wheel back to that, how to create a wheel, which has really kept his mind going, I can tell you. Right, I'll come along with a hose and give them a good rinse off. watercress is beautifully vigorous. It's a shame it's not nice. I really planted it. I bought a lot of different type of leaf salad things later on this year, in the back end of the summer, to try for an alternative to this lettuce. You get a bit sick of just lettuce, and this was one of them, but just really as an experiment to see what we would have next year. But I don't think we'll be having the watercress. So the last thing to come out this border is this old woody, there's a bit of nasturtium in there as well, old woody rocket. Can you believe it? I found wild rocket, literal wild rocket, grown along the cliff tops near where I live, because we live on the coast. I could smell it every time I walked past, because I walk down there regularly, and I kept thinking I can smell rocket. Anyway, yeah, I spotted the rocket plants. There was a few of them. I don't know how they got there. So I saved some of the seed when they went to seed, and that is it. And it's very vigorous. It would have to be on the cliff tops of the northeast of England with the North Sea blasting on it all the time. That's it coming out there now. Actually, when I think about it, I could have maybe left it to go to seed, couldn't I, and gotten some more. Never mind, that's it up, and that is that border all but cleared. So I've got the wheelbarrow out. I'm going to mix up a little concoction here, sling onto that border to feed it. I've got compost, I've got some nice topsoil that we've got from somewhere, and I've also got like stuff off the hen run. It's composted down, but it's manure and sawdust all composted. And I've also got some spent compost from my pots at home, just to bulk up that border a bit. It's going to be a bit back-breaking, perhaps this bit, the hardest work. Just as I'm going to get my compost, I've discovered something rather unnerving. Can you see that? I don't know whether you'd be able to tell what it is. It's a hole, it's a tunnel, it's basically a rat hole. It's tunnelled right through my compost into probably the next one, which is the fresh compost. Not very nice. I'm not very happy about that at all. I think this is the hen manure. Righty-ho, that's it done. It strikes me that gardening for veg is a bit like decorating. It's all in the preparation. It's taken me ages to do all of this, and the onions hopefully shouldn't take too long. I'm going to wear gloves because what with hen manure, which I think it's composted down, but I don't want to take any chances, and rats in my compost. What's the disease you get off rats' urine? Viles disease. I'm going to wear my gloves to put these in. I wouldn't normally. They're quite a good size. Pretty happy with them. I plant quite close together just because I do. going to have loads, but it's fine actually. I'm going to need the other bag of onions. I hope to send them sharpish. Right, well, it seems I'm not a very good judge of how many onions I need. I've only managed 3.5 rows with that packet of Shakespeare onions. So I'm going to put the red onions in, I'm going to put these shallots in, and I still won't fill this bed. So I'm starting to have a little bit of a rethink about where I'm going to put my garlic. I was going to put it elsewhere, but maybe I'll put that in here too, because I'd like to get this border completely done today. I'll see how I get on with these though. That's the shallots going in now. It's getting a bit windy, so excuse me if the sound is bad. Not exactly sure. I think these just go in like onions and just give them a bit of a bigger space. I've retired to the shed. The wind has really started kicking up. I'm going to put my garlic in, which is a bit of a bonus because it means I haven't got to sort out the bed that I was gonna do for the garlic. I've totally overestimated how many onions I need to fill a patch, and I don't want to wait for the other Thompson's onions to come in case they don't arrive or whatever, and if they come I'll put them in the patch in the back garden. So I'm just going to divide these up now and get them in. Weather's going downhill. I want to get home now. That's all my garlic all separated up. In case you're new to any of this, maybe there's some people who haven't planted these before who are just watching this out of interest. The onions, you just plant them so that the little tops level with the surface are just peeping up. The garlic is different, however. You plant that more like an ordinary bulb, a bit like a daffodil bulb or something. You want it to be twice the depth of it. So if it's like that, you want the same again of soil over the top. I'm going to get on do that now. I've got my little fork here. I'm going to do it backwards to make the hole. A bit deeper, I think. It's awkward doing it with gloves. I'm not used to it. I know some people use gloves all the time, but I prefer not to usually. Alright, that's that border all planted. Onions and garlic, red onions, white onions or yellow onions rather, and garlic. And the border still isn't full, so I will try and get the rest of the onions and put them in there when they arrive. I'm pleased I've gotten that done today. There's not much to show for it, is there, when you plant onions? The only other question that remains is, do you net it or do you not net it? Now, I haven't netted the last 2 years and I've been lucky the birds haven't touched me onions. But we have got 2 quite naughty crows who live in a hawthorn tree at the back of the allotment there. So I think I'll just wait and see, and I'll pop up over the next couple of days and see if they start to pull them, and if they do, I'll net it. So there we go, there's some more work done at the allotment, next year's onions, and I've just actually this week, yesterday in fact I think it was, finished the last of this year's onions, so it seems quite nice to be putting the ones in for next year, although I wish I had a bit more to last, mind. I'm going to go off home now. I've got to get out this habit of rushing off home. It's ingrained in us from being a mother. Both my kids left home last month on the same weekend, just by coincidence. So I've got an empty nest, and it's not that they would have needed us anyway, they're young adults, but it's just that habit that you have when you're a mum of feeling the need to rush off home to make sure everything's all right. Even Kenny's away, so I'm completely on my own. I'm rushing back with the hens and the cats. But I've got that thing is that I need to get home because I've been up here for quite a while. I hope you're having a great day today, and I hope your week's fabulous, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.